Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Rodney, and I'm back, and I wanted to come in and run my mouth and talk about the mess. I'm so disappointed because I wanted to go see Brandy and Monica. Girl, I found out some of my friends were going last night, and I have been talking about it with Brittany. Me and Brittany were talking about going. Um, and I was just like, if I go, if I go, if I don't, I don't. And then once I found out they were going, I was like, I need to go too since everybody else is going. But when I went back, the tickets that I saw, it was like pretty much behind the stage. Like, I thought, oh no, absolutely not. Like, like those seats that are like literally like this is the stage, right? And then you'll be sitting like right here. So you won't be seeing anything basically. So I was like, no. And then the other tickets were just too expensive. I saw one ticket that was a floor seat that was like, well, I should have got the one I saw last night, but I waited too long, so that was kind of my fault. But when I looked today, the one they had available, that had the best seat was the one on the floor, and it was like $700 and something, and I was like, you're absolutely not. You're absolutely not. So I might have to catch Brandy and Monica the next go around, if it's the next go around. If not, then I mean they're living legends, So shout out to Brandy and Monica. It is what it is. I mean the tour is not over. I think they have a few more stops, but I wanted to catch I wish I could have caught the one tonight, but it is what it is. Shout out to Brandy and Monica and Kelly. I heard Kelly did. My best friend, he went already. He said Kelly did a good job. He said he loved Maya too. So shout out to Brandy and Monica, Kelly, and Maya. Anyways, y'all, let's just get into what I really wanted to talk about, which was Michelle Obama. This is a story that I have been wanting to tap on for the last couple of weeks, but we have been behind discussing other things. So let's go ahead and get into it. So, Michelle Obama, the First Lady, she had a conversation with Tracee Ellis Ross. Now, just a background on what the conversation, why they had this conversation. Who is this? Somebody just popped up on my screen. So this is what Tracee Ellis Ross wrote on her Instagram page. I have been lucky to have many conversations with Michelle Obama throughout the years, coming together to talk about The Look, her latest book about the power of utilizing fashion and beauty for joy and purpose, was extra special because we got to discuss her groundbreaking significance as First Lady, but this time through a new lens, the lens of fashion and hair. Our clothes can be a tool for creativity and joy and an expression of freedom that can connect us to our history and message the future. Miss Obama used what she wore as a language, as an opportunity to tell the world who she was and what she believed in. And she did so with the support of her dedicated, caring, and thoughtful team of many years. Miss Obama, thank you for inviting me to have this wonderful conversation with you. And so Tracee basically posed a question, and I'm going to play the audio, but Tracee basically posed a question to Michelle on whether or not, basically, were we ready for a female president. So I'm going to go ahead and play what Michelle Obama had to say, and then I'll play the clip of Bill right afterwards. And then I couldn't find the clip of what Donna Brazile had to say, so I'm going to have to read the transcript. And then we'll go ahead and we'll talk.
I think that impacts the room that we've made for a woman to be president?
Well, as we saw in this past election, sadly, we ain't ready. That's why I'm like, don't even look at me about running, because you all are lying. You're not ready for a woman. You are not. So don't waste my time. We got a lot of growing up to do. And there's still, sadly, a lot of men who do not feel like they can be led by a woman, and we saw it. What was the question?
I just said, we don't need to ask it again. You answered it.
I mean, her statement, I was rather shocked by it.
Yeah.
She said, as we saw in the past election, sadly, we ain't ready. Okay, to me, this is logical fallacy 101. Just because we weren't ready or didn't like the candidates, Hillary and Kamala, doesn't mean we're not ready for a woman. Maybe. That's why I'm like, don't even look at me about running, because you are all lying. You're not ready for a woman. You are not, so don't waste my time. We've got a lot of growing up to do, and there are still, sadly, a lot of men who do not feel like they can be led by a woman. I think it's a bad attitude. I do. I mean, we said we weren't ready for a black president, and someone, I can't remember who, maybe she remembers, said maybe it just has to be the right one.
Okay, and so this is what Donna Brazile had to say. Brazile, the contentious former chair of the Democratic National Committee, declared, "We are ready." As she pointed out, the popular vote results both Clinton and Harris received and their losses to Trump in 2016 and 2024, respectively. Maybe we should just stop talking about it and just do it. Clinton garnered 65.8 million votes to Trump's 62.9 million, but lost the Electoral College vote 304 to 227. 8 years later, Harris got 75 million votes and 226 electoral votes, and her landslide loss to Trump. We are ready. 80% of American people say they are ready, Brazile said. So the idea that America isn't ready is bullshit, she added. They might not be ready for this one or that one. And then during his Club Random podcast on Monday, Bill floated the idea that progressive Darling Rep AOC would be a fantastic candidate for the White House if she had some deprogramming. If she had some deprogramming, she would be such a fantastic candidate. She's never going to resonate with people outside of the bubble she lives in the very, very far left, he added. So this is the only thing I have to say. Yes, Hillary got more votes, right? But at the end of the day, does it fucking matter? No. Because she didn't make it into the Oval. I personally think they should be done with the electoral college, and I think they should just base it off who got the most votes. The fact that you can receive the most votes but still not win is absolutely insane to me. So with that, Miss Donna does have a point. However, this will be my pushback. The first president was George Washington, and that was in the 1700s. 89, I believe. 1789. He became president. We're in 2025, and we have yet to have a woman president. So are we really ready? If the first president was in 1789 and we're in 2025 and we have yet to have a woman president, are we really ready? Are we really ready? Ready or not, here I come, you can hide. I'm gonna find you. Shout out to the Fugees. That's what I would want to know. Are we really ready? Or does it just sound good to say we've come so far? Yeah, we don't live in the 1700s anymore. We don't live in the 1800s. We don't live in the 1900s, right? Things have changed. But are we really ready? And then even with Bill basically throwing out there pretty much, we gave y'all a nigga president, so why are you acting like things haven't changed? The fact of the matter is, we have had one biracial black president since the first president. Correct me if I'm wrong. It almost feels like Bill saying, for you to have this attitude of things have not changed and we've elected one nigga as president. What are you talking about? And even in that case, Barack Obama had to be and damn near still has to be walking perfection. When I tell you Barack Obama probably has to be the squeakiest nigga walking around, baby, you ain't got no dirt on Barack because they've been trying for years. I think the most they could come up with was that, girl, he was engaged to some woman before Michelle and that he wore a tan suit. That's the most they could find on Barack. And the fact that he was the first black president and he had to be as squeaky as possible. But then you have someone like, say, a Donald Trump, who is a hot ass mess, who has rape allegations attached to his name, yes. Now, she walked him back, his ex-wife, but nonetheless, she put it out there. How many baby mamas does Donald Trump have? 3. Bankruptcies. If that was a black man and they had the things attached to their name the way that Donald Trump has attached to his, he couldn't even think about being the president of the United States of America.
Did I lie? Did I lie? Did I fucking lie?
I think also we have to acknowledge that Kamala and Hillary are not the only women that have tried to become president. So when we start to go down this road of, I think we're ready, are we? Because there are other women who have tried to become president and the door was slammed in their faces. So are we really ready? These are just, I'm going to put this article, I'm going to put this in the, what is it called? I'm going to put the link in the description box. So if you want to read the article in its entirety, then you definitely can. But this is from the Center for American Women in Politics. And I'm just going to go just through a few of these. And they basically have that the first woman, a woman tried to run in 1872, Victoria Woodhull, right? I'll put it on the screen. 1884, Belva Lockwood. Then we have 1972, Congresswoman Patsy Mink, right? And then we also have Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm. Girl, I think there's a, I think, didn't, what's her name? Regina King. I think Regina King did a movie about her on Netflix, I believe. And then we have in 1999, we have Elizabeth Dole. Then 2003, we have Kara Mosley Braun. And then 2008, we have Sarah Palin, Hillary Clinton. We also have Jill Stein and Michelle Bachmann in 2012. And then we have Kamala Harris. So all I'm saying is, girl, are we really ready? Because we have had plenty, I ain't gonna say plenty in comparison to men, but we've had more than a few women try to get into the Oval Office, and the doors have been slammed in their faces. So are we really ready?
Huh? What you say, honey? I don't hear you, sweetie.
And it's just not the men who believe that a woman is not equipped to be president. There are women out there too. Please don't get it twisted. I remember when Hillary was running the first time, I remember seeing on Facebook people talking about how Hillary should not become president because what if she's still on her period? Women are too emotional because of their menstrual cycle. Girl, what the fuck? The way these men will throw their dicks on the table and go to war, but you're saying that because a woman may still be on her period, girl, that she'll make an she's too emotional. It's shit like that. You can't even ask Donald Trump a question without him talking to you sideways if he feels like you're going against him, but the women are too emotional. They'll damn near kick you out of the White House for asking something that they feel they deem as negative, but the women are too emotional. I'm just saying. I think that we've come a long way, of course, but to sit here and try to paint this picture because we had one nigga president and that should be enough, or that shows, does it show that there's a tad bit of change? Yeah, it does. It does. You know my personal belief is, this is just my personal belief. I believe that the requirements to be the President of the United States are so elementary because I feel as though once those qualifications were established, I believe they thought the only people that would be able to be President of the United States were just white men. The qualifications to become the President of the United States, girl, pretty much anybody can do it. You have to there are more qualifications to work at Nordstrom, Saks, McDonald's, the financial aid office at school, at a university, as a work study student. There are more qualifications to work at to work at DSW, Foot Locker, than there is to become the President of the United States of America. I think you have to be a natural born citizen, live in the United States for 14 years, and be 35 years or older. That's it. But I think those qualifications were made because they never really thought that anyone outside of white male would be able to run for the highest office in the land. If they thought that other people would have access to the Oval, I believe they would have made a laundry list of qualifications in order to get inside of that building. That's just my thought. That's just my thought. That's why you have mediocre white men who have no business in the White House, like Donald Trump in the White House. And to sit here and say that, especially in comparison to Donald Trump, that Hillary Clinton or Kamala Harris, the people didn't like them because they just didn't think they were qualified or because they didn't like them as candidates. No, they didn't like them because they had a puss between their legs. Let's just call a thing a thing. There's a reason why, since the first president stepped foot in the Oval, why there has never been a woman president. It's not because oh girl, the women are not qualified. It's because they're women. And it's because they don't have a dick swinging between their legs. We can't keep playing this game. And I absolutely think, not to go off into a rant, I think it's absolutely sad that in 2025, we still even have to say we've had the first or it'll be the first. When I see things like, I remember I was online. I just told a lie, I wasn't watching anything. I was online, and I think it was like the first Mexican actress who had won like an Emmy or some shit. And I was like, this is so fucking strange. I think it was like last year. I was like, this is so fucking strange. How are we in 2024 and like we're still screaming the first of anything? The first, the first Asian, the first, Mexican, the first black. Like, it's weird. The first woman. The first man to be elected, the first black man to be elected as president of the United States of America. The first black woman to be put on a presidential ticket. Like, that is insane to me. It really is. Like I said, I'm not trying to say that we have not come a long way, because we have. But I think that it's also, I think multiple things can exist at the same time. And I think it's also bullshit when people try to play in your face and act as if, oh, what Michelle Obama said was just so far out of left field. It's really not. It's really not. Girl, y'all are not ready. Not me, girl, not y'all, but y'all. Shout out to Eric De Niro TV. Y'all are not ready. We haven't had a woman president for a fucking reason. Okay, girl, we had one black president. Ooh, whoop-de-doo. Girl, great. Times have changed. Anyways, I'm with Michelle on this one. 100%. 99%. Like I said, I do agree with Hillary got more. But like I said, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if she got more votes. It does not matter. It does not matter. Because the votes didn't fucking matter because they didn't put her in the White House. Sorry. I used to always be one of those people, even though I voted in every election except for one. I can't remember. I think I voted when I turned 18. Did I vote when I turned? I think like right when I turned 18, I was able to vote in the next election. I can't remember. But I know it was one that I didn't participate in. But I used to always think that my vote didn't matter because even though I still continued to vote, even outside of that one time, because I would always, when it's election night, you're watching TV. I mean, you're watching, the results roll in, and you would hear them put so much emphasis on certain states. They have to win this state if they're going to become the president of the United States. If they win this state, it's over. And so I used to always be looking like, well, girl, what was the point of me voting if y'all are saying that if they win this state and this state, then the election is over? And if that's the case, then bitch, just let those states decide. Because that's what it used to always sound like to me back in the day. Again, I still vote. Except for that one time. I think they should be done with the electoral. I really do. I think it should just be the popular. I'm not this political, connoisseur. I'm not. But I just believe that they just need to go by the popular. I do. And then it's almost like I don't know. It's like, to me, it's like a beauty pageant in a way. It's kind of like allowing the people in the audience to pick who they want to win, but then ultimately the judges get to decide. So it's kind of like, girl, nobody cares about what the audience says anyways. We're going to let the audience decide who wins Miss America. However, the judges at the table, their votes outweigh. So in the end, it doesn't really matter what the audience says. It's really what the judges say. So, girl, why do you need to ask me what the fuck if we pick the person and we have more votes towards this person, then why does it fucking matter what we say if you're going to say your vote trumps ours anyways? No pun intended. Okay? You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. It's going to be what it's going to be. All right, y'all. That's all I really had to say. Let's move on. Now, let's just get a little messy. So this is according to the Neighborhood Talk. Oop! Will Smith's former best friend of 40 years says he's suing Jada for allegedly threatening to pull a bullet in him and for telling their business. Also claims he has video proof Will was sexually involved with men.
Receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots, in everything.
I would like to see it.
Would have been swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? Have you gone through a time of swallowing where everything was overwhelming and you...
I would like to see it. Okay? Send it to me so I can see if it's real. Okay? Because I can tell if it's AI. I can tell if it's AI or not. So send it to me. I'll let you know, baby. I'll let you know, baby. I want to see what was going on. So neighbors, this story is wild from top to bottom. Will Smith's former best friend of almost 40 years, Bilal Salem, has filed a lawsuit against Jada Pinkett Smith, threatening him and trying to silence him after he spoke out about their family's private business. He claims Jada told him he would end up missing if he kept talking and that he would catch a bullet if he did not sign an NDA. Baby, straight like that. Straight like that. According to court documents, I think it's Salem. Says Jada ran up on him in a hotel lobby with a group of 7 people during Will's 53rd birthday celebration. He says she became verbally aggressive, demanded he sign paperwork, and followed him to his car while one of her associates continued making threats. Salem is also accusing Jada of trying to publicly discredit him. He says she went on a radio show and falsely claimed he tried to shake her down for money, which made people think he was involved in extortion. He says the pressure and smear campaign ruined his luxury jewelry brand, Bopulent, which he claims had support from Kevin Hart, Jamie Foxx, Viola Davis, and Snoop Dogg. He also says he had to abandon a whistleblower memoir deal that was supposed to come with a $500,000 advance because he emotionally collapsed. The lawsuit also brings up something even messier. He claims Jada lied when she told TMZ she had never seen Will engage in intimate behavior with men. He claims he has a video of Will groping actor Alfonso Ribeiro, including touching his private areas in front of Jada and the kids. Girl! Now that might be AI. But I don't know, it just depends. Because believe it or not, I know some of y'all might roll your eyes, but men do stuff like that. You know, they playing with each other. I mean, they slapping ass on football fields and basketball courts all day long, which I think is the weirdest fucking thing. I have never understood why. Y'all want to talk about niggas being gay? The gayest shit you can do is to slap a nigga on their ass cheeks when they are ass bare with a jock strap on to tell them they did a good job. What does slapping a nigga on his ass cheeks, how does that equate to telling them they did a good job? Why you just can't say good job, nigga? Why you gotta slap a nigga on his cheeks? I think that y'all want to talk about gay. So I don't think it's too far-fetched that it could be that Will and Alfonso, if the video does exist, that they could have been joking. You know how niggas be joking and grab them? Like, I know that sounds crazy, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Men will joke around and grab each other and, you know, like they will. I've seen it. So I don't know, and it may not be anything that the way that he's trying to paint it. Anyways, let me get back to the, hold up. He claims he says her denial made people think he was delusional or lying, which caused him public embarrassment, a loss of credibility. Salem says the threats got worse when word got out that he was planning to write a memoir. He also claims Will threatened him again after the Oscar slap in 2022. He is suing Jada for emotional distress, defamation, and more, and says he plans to file a separate lawsuit. He plans to file separately against Will. Reps for Will and Jada have not commented. Girl. Is there some truth in some of this? I believe so. Do I believe that Will and Jada probably said that they're going to slap the shit out of him? Yeah. I mean, if he was best friends with Will for 40 years, I haven't kept up with this man. But if he was best friends, let's just talk. If he was best friends with Will, could I see Will and Jada? Don't forget Jada from Baltimore. Okay, ain't she from Baltimore? Could I see Will and Jada, girl, threatening to slap the shit out of him? Yes, I could. I could see that. Because you're supposed to be family at this point, basically. And for you to turn your back against the family, nigga, I ought to slap the shit out of you, nigga. I could see that happening, I could. And do I think it's necessarily wrong? No. Especially if they feel like he has betrayed them. I'm not trying to defend Will and Jada. I'm just saying that if they were best friends, I could see how Will or Jada could threaten to slap the shit out of him. That don't sound too far-fetched. And do I necessarily think it's wrong? No, I mean, you out here trying to write books and shit. Like, girl, y'all slap the shit out of your ass. Ain't this is the one who said he walked in with Dwayne and Will having sex, allegedly, right? Dwayne Martin and Will. Baby, I would ask when I join. Y'all don't be doing. You see, y'all don't get down like me, baby. Because I would ask when I join. Can I join in? Can I join? Okay. No. Okay. Well. Okay. Well, let me get up out of here. No means no. Girl, can I? You sure I can't join in? Because I'm asking to join in, baby. Will and Dwayne. Right. Will and Dwayne, baby. We want to tow that room up, baby. Do you hear me? Sure would have. Sure would have. He said he walked in. I think this is the one who said he walked in on Will and Dwayne allegedly having sex. What did you ask? Could you join in? Because I would ask, could I join in, baby? Well, I guess if that's your best friend, then no. But because you wouldn't say that to your best friend. But if it was me and I had walked in, baby, y'all ain't gotta stop. Y'all want a third? I won't say nothing. Okay? I'm a girl who keeps her mouth closed. Okay? Anyways, shout out to Jada. And shout out to Will. I guess we'll figure out what's going on. I mean, I don't think he gonna get nothing from Will and Jada. You know, for the most part, I will say sometimes. You know, I have this thing about lawsuits. Like, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But if you want against people who got a whole bunch of money, like, money can buy the best things that money can buy. And Will and Jada, money is not short. So they have access to some of the best lawyers. So, you know, like I said, I know that's not the case for every situation. If he gets what he gets out of this, then he will. But I don't know, girl. I guess we'll find out eventually. All right, y'all. Let's move on. Y'all, so this is according to the Jasmine brand. So Antonio Brown claims he only fired warning shots during Miami shooting, wants his attempted unaliving charge erased. So Antonio Brown is asking a Florida judge to shut down his criminal case before it even reaches a jury. The former NFL star has filed a motion seeking dismissal of his attempted unaliving charge, arguing he is protected under Florida's Stand Your Ground law following a May 16, 2025 shooting outside a Miami area boxing event. According to ESPN, Brown's attorney, Mark Eglarsh, you know I would mess somebody's name up, claims the law grants immunity because Brown allegedly believed his life was in danger during an altercation. Ooh, girl, I don't know this person's name. Zul Kwame Nantumbu. I don't know. Girl, a nigga. Okay. Brown's use of force on May the 16th, 2025 was fully justified, the motion states, asserting Brown fired 2 warning shots while attempting to disengage and reach safety. The filing also references an alleged prior dispute between the men in Dubai as context for Brown's fear. Prosecutors dispute that version, alleging surveillance footage shows Brown chasing the nickel and firing at close range. The nigga's attorney called the motion a farcical reimagining, adding, by the grace of God, he was not killed. Brown has pleaded not guilty and remains on house arrest as the case continues. Do you believe Antonio? Girl, Antonio been a mess and he gonna forever be a mess. I don't know, I wasn't there, so I just want to put that out there real quick. You know, at first the story was Antonio got his ass whooped, he got jumped. And he ran and went and got a gun from like either his security or security. And then came back and girl started blasting. And that's where I think the confusion for some people is I mean, based off what I've read, that's not necessarily self-defense, because at that point the fight was over. Like, he got jumped basically, and then he ran to get the gun, and then he came back and started blasting. Now, whether he was blasting in the air as warning shots or blasting at them, I don't know. I think it would have been different based off what I read, that if he was getting jumped and in the middle, like for example, he had the gun on him and then started blasting, then that would have been different. But being that the fight was over, from what people are saying, the fight was over basically, and then he ran to get the gun and then came back. I don't know. I can see. Yeah, that's why you got to be careful. I'm not even gonna sit here and lie to y'all. I could see how somebody could lose it. Can you imagine getting your ass jumped and you just out of it, and then you just run like, where them niggas at? Boom, 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 boom. I'm not trying to say I would do it, but I could, okay, but I could see how somebody could do it. Like I said, girl, don't make it right, because then your ass could end up in prison. We just gotta be careful, honey. Just stay your ass at home. Okay, that's the best thing. And even then, you got to be skeptical about that, honey, because the way girls is busting into your door while you sitting on a goddamn couch eating some goddamn ice cream, that'll take you out too, baby. Just pray. That's all you can, just pray about it, baby. Anyways, I guess we'll figure out what's going on when they let us know. I think Antonio might be going to jail, though.
And clank-de-clank, clank-de-clank.
I think Antonio might be going to jail. All right, y'all. I'm sure Keisha Cole, she'll probably be right there by him, girl, putting money on his books and shit. You know she's a fool. All right, y'all, I'm gone. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good night. Bye, y'all.